The following is a sponsored program paid for by First Alliance Credit Union. Welcome to Good Money Moves, featuring Jenna Taubel from First Alliance Credit Union and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
It's time for Good Money Moves. I'm Andy Brownell with Jenna Taubel, Director of Brand and Digital Member Experience with First Alliance Credit Union. Hi, Jenna.
Hey, Andy.
Last week, we talked about how to prepare your finances for the winter, which was far more expensive than I thought it would be, but yeah, good information. What is the topic this week for Good Money Moves?
Yes, well, with the holiday, Christmas, all of that just around the corner, do you remember around this time last year when we talked about the financial lessons that you could learn from a Charles Dickens Christmas Carol?
I sure do. That was very creative and a little surprising to me that you could find so many financial lessons in that old Dickens story.
Yeah, well, absolutely. So this year, though, I thought we could take another look at another holiday special that is just as loved as A Christmas Carol, and that is A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And this might sound crazy, right? So you think, oh, it's just a cartoon for kids. What is there about money in that story? But money actually plays a really big role in that story. Just even on the surface, Charlie Brown frets that Christmas has become too commercial. And Sally asks for money for Christmas, preferably in 10s and 20s specifically, if you recall from the show. Snoopy even is in on it. He's so focused on winning the neighborhood light decorating contest, and the prize is money. What's a dog going to do with money? I don't know, but it's in there. And then, of course, Lucy believes that Christmas is a commercial racket run by big Eastern syndicates, as she says in the show.
She's right. No, I'm kidding. I love her cynical character.
Yes. Yeah. So many great characters in that story. And, there's a lot of good financial lessons that you can actually learn from this special. And we're going to have a little fun today and dig into those.
All right. I'd love to see what lessons we can learn from good old Charlie Brown. So what's the first one?
The first one is don't be afraid to ask for help. So in the special, the plot kind of picks up where Charlie Brown goes to Lucy's psychiatric booth to get advice because he's feeling really depressed at Christmas time. And Lucy is probably not the best person to ask for advice, but Charlie Brown had the right idea that if you've got a problem, don't be afraid to ask for help. And this can be really important because a lot of people don't like asking for help, right? They're afraid people will think they're incompetent, or if they ask for help, they'll be made fun of. A lot of people are also scared of the answers they might get if they ask questions, especially when it comes to maybe their healthcare, but especially their money.
Right.
And so you might find out, right, that you have a serious disease, or you might learn that your financial situation is not what you thought it was. It could be a lot worse. Or who knows, it could be a lot better. You don't know until you ask. But having said that, it just can be really hard to ask for help, but the result is almost always positive in the long run. So when you ask for help, you get the opportunity to really move forward. And especially if you've been stuck on a problem, you get the information you need to take that next step and make a decision. And you also have the opportunity then to learn, and a lot of times even expand your skill sets. So, and this is especially true when it comes to personal finances. So if you talk with a financial advisor, for instance, you'll get expert advice that might help you save and earn more money, and then you might even get if you try to figure out everything on your own, right? Just kind of gives you that extra perspective that you might be missing. And of course, you'd learn to invest your money better and figure out how to update your budget, or even learn something new about a product or service that could help your finances be even better for you.
And I think the key to what you just mentioned is the moving forward part.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you know you're in a situation and you're frozen and not asking for help and more or less stressing out,
Yeah,
it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. At least
exactly.
if you move forward and seek the help, there's a chance of a remedy. And even if there's not a chance of a remedy, you're moving forward and dealing with the issue so you can clean up the mess and then start forward. Even if you have to pursue the worst option possible. And I always like that it's never too late. I mean, even if you're my age and you haven't done what you needed to do to be in a great position, you're going to still be in a better position than you were if you hadn't taken any action.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. So asking for help if you're not sure what to do is a simple solution, important solution. And I agree, a lot of times people are just plain afraid to hear the news, regardless of maybe not knowing what the news is.
Yeah.
So, what is the next financial lesson we can derive from Charlie Brown's Christmas special?
Yeah. So the next lesson is to try something new. Now, in the show, Lucy tells Charlie Brown that the cure for his depression around Christmas time is to get involved and be the director of the Christmas play. And this doesn't necessarily appear to be something that Charlie Brown has done before, but he doesn't hesitate either when Lucy asks him. He jumps in and does it. So this is a good habit to adopt. Trying new things not only broadens your horizons, it forces you to grow and helps you become more confident as you step outside your comfort zone. It also is a good way to renew your interest in a hobby that you once loved and maybe have let kind of go as life has happened.
I'm good with that strategy, unless you're going to tell me I have to go skydiving.
Well,
Not
you don't have to
do
do anything that you don't want to do. Yes, yeah. I would not do that either.
Old President Bush did it when he was 80.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it just had that story out of Wisconsin. I think the woman was 96 years old, if I remember correctly, and they convinced her to jump out of an airplane.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I will never do that.
Okay. We're on the same page. Just
I'm
so
not
we're
that
on the same
adventurous.
page.
Yes, yeah.
Well, it's something new.
It would be new. It would be new. Yes. Yeah. Well, but trying something new can maybe give you a thrill, but it also can actually produce really good results for you financially as well, right? Opening an emergency fund, if you haven't done that before, can give you peace of mind and really prevent you from getting into debt if an unexpected emergency arises. And you might even, you could open up a new mutual fund that gives you a higher rate of return than you've had before. You might even realize that the financial institution that you're currently banking with is not suiting your needs, and you can switch to a new one that has maybe better rates or a more robust smartphone app or just has really pleasant and helpful staff.
Better tools, perhaps.
Yes.
Like budgeting tools.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, budgeting tools are.
Because First Alliance has that really cool budgeting tool as part of your app and website.
Yes.
One of the better ones out there. Yeah, you're right. I mean, just going through the exercise can prove fruitful. Even if you decide to stay where you're at least you now have the knowledge to know that where you're at fits you well.
Exactly.
And you don't have to wonder about that, which often creates additional stress, just the wondering part of it.
Yeah.
Especially,
yeah.
Am I getting the best interest rates? I don't know. Am I paying too much in interest rates? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Could I have a more secure situation for myself too? If you're worried about, cyber crime and all that sort of situation.
Yeah.
Talking to somebody, especially one of the financial advisors you have, that's not the correct term, but the folks working at with the customers at First Alliance, the credit union.
Yeah.
Throw them a question. That's a great idea.
Exactly.
And I noticed you didn't have on your list start a budget. There's something new.
Yeah, well, I think starting a budget is a great new thing to do, especially this time of year. This is definitely, we're just coming up not only at the holidays, but the new year is also right around the corner. Always a good time to try some new things and set in some new habits.
There we
So
go.
budgeting is definitely the cornerstone of that.
That's your New Year's resolution if you haven't already done it.
Hmm.
Get prepared. Okay, we'll have to take a break. Jenna Taubel with First Alliance Credit Union. I'm Andy Brownell. It is Good Money Moves, and we're talking about the Charlie Brown Christmas and how it relates to our finances. And more is coming up. News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good Money Moves continues in moments with Andy Brownell and Jenna Taubel from First Alliance Credit Union. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. We're talking Good Money Moves with Andy Brownell and Jenna Taubel from First Alliance Credit Union on Rochester's News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back to Good Money Moves with Jenna Taubel with First Alliance Credit Union. I'm Andy Brownell, and we're talking what sort of financial lessons or encouragement we can get from the Charlie Brown Christmas special. Have you ever tallied how many times you've seen this? I have not seen it in years, not since my kids were kids. But when I think about how many times I watched it when I was a kid,
Yeah.
because it was an annual ritual,
Hmm.
oh my gosh, it's dozens.
Yeah. It's not one that I watch every year, but it is one that I watch regularly. It's just such a wholesome, cute little show. It really is.
And if you live in Minnesota, you have to watch it because Charles Schultz was from St. Paul, so
Exactly.
it was
Exactly.
required. And every year my dad would say, the guy who created this was from St. Paul, right? Yeah, Dad, we know. All right. So it's easier for a cartoon character to go and do something that they've never done before, as we were talking about earlier, try something new. And it can really pay off. I think that's very obvious for anybody who's ever tried it. What other lessons are we going to derive if we sit down and actually watch the special?
Yeah. So invest in real estate, right? When Charlie Brown asks Lucy what she really wants for Christmas instead of toys and clothes, she says she wants real estate.
I forgot about that. Yes.
And she's not wrong, right? Real estate is a fantastic investment. And it's even better if that property has a house on it. So and real estate definitely is one of those things that appreciates over time, which is not the case with things like purchasing vehicles or clothes or, anything else. So really that just means that the longer you hold on to it, the more valuable it gets. So
yeah.
Great advice.
And there's exception to all those rules because if I had kept some of those concert T-shirts that I bought back in the 1970s that I wore until they had holes in them, those get big bucks now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, retro stuff like that.
Yep, yeah.
And
there's always a caveat.
Yeah, lucky enough to buy a early Ferrari, for most people, especially cars are probably the worst overall when you think about how much money you have to spend on them as far as how quickly they depreciate.
Mm-hmm.
But we need them.
True.
You wouldn't expect a kid to know. Well, that was Lucy, though, right?
Yeah.
Lucy, the pragmatist and cynical person. Of course, she knew about investments.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next point we can get from Charlie Brown?
Yeah. Presentation matters. It counts, right? So everyone knows how Charlie Brown's sad little Christmas tree, what it looks like before and after the kids use the ornaments from Snoopy's doghouse to decorate it, right? Sometimes something that might not look good initially can look a lot better when you take time to make it more presentable. And in the world of finance and money, presentation can really count, especially when you're applying for a loan. And this is not so much about the sense of how you look when you go in to apply for the loan necessarily. It's really more about how your finances look, right? And so this is a good reminder to review your finances, check your credit score. If your credit score is not great, try to take some steps to improve it, right? Maybe pay down some of your debts or make sure that you don't have any outstanding or late bills that need to be paid. And you might also want to get your credit reports from the credit reporting bureaus and go through them to make sure there's no errors in it, because they do have errors in them. And we've talked about this in episodes before, and you can correct them if they're wrong. But the only way that they will get corrected is if you point it out and make sure that it happens.
And every little ding works against you, right?
Exactly.
You may even, if you get approved for the loan, if you add up enough dings, you're going to have to pay a higher interest rate.
Exactly.
So if, let's say I got sloppy for a little while and paid some of my credit accounts a little bit late, how long would it take for that to mitigate itself if I, worked on it to make sure I wasn't late anymore? It did some of the steps that you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the trouble with credit scores in general, is it depends. A lot of it depends on the type of credit that you're behind on. Is it revolving? Is it a fixed payment? Also, what amount of time in your credit history you had late payments. If you've been normally making on-time payments for 10 years and now in the last 3 months you've struggled to make on-time payments, that's going to look a little bit different than somebody who consistently has late payments over the course of 10 years. And so, but overall, you can typically start to see changes in your credit score 6 to 12 months.
Okay.
If you're really, really focused on making changes.
So is this something I could bring to First Alliance Credit Union and talk with somebody and get advice on
Absolutely.
how to work on this?
Absolutely. That is what our team does amazingly well. They love to sit down and help members figure out how to improve their credit, how to improve their financial situation, to get them to where they want to be financially, to meet those financial goals. That is what they love to do.
All right. Charlie Brown's Christmas and financial lessons we can learn. It's Good Money Moves with Jenna Taubel with First Alliance Credit Union. Back in a moment on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good Money Moves continues in moments with Andy Brownell and Jenna Taubel from First Alliance Credit Union. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. We're talking good money moves with Andy Brownell and Jenna Taubel from First Alliance Credit Union on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. Andy Brownell with Jenna Taubel. It's Good Money Moves. Jenna with First Alliance Credit Union. And the topic today is a Charlie Brown Christmas. No, I mean, it's the topic, the genesis of the topic. What lessons can be learned from the Charlie Brown Christmas special to help you out with your finances? Are there any other financial lessons we can learn?
Yeah. So the last financial lesson from a Charlie Brown Christmas that I think we should talk about is really that it's not about the things. It's not, a secret that the more money that you have, the better your life tends to be, right? I mean, more money tends to mean that you can buy better clothes, buy that slightly bigger house. Maybe you'll have the ability to travel more, the ability to take longer vacations. But having said that, money doesn't equal happiness. It also doesn't equal how much you love someone, right? So you might want to get your mom or your wife something fancy, but if you can't, it doesn't mean that you love them any less. And a lot of times you see the holiday ads and they will lead you to believe that the only way to have the best Christmas ever is to buy the 10-foot tree, have the nicest silverware on the banquet table, and everything that's on your children's gift list is under the tree wrapped in expensive wrapping paper. And the truth is, though, that you don't need to spend thousands of dollars to have a happy holiday.
No, I don't
And
even I don't even know if it would be fun if you were to
yeah,
lavish everybody with everything that you could possibly purchase them. If you watch all the marketing, I don't know. I think it would turn into just a sad mess.
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love driving around and seeing all the Christmas lights on people's houses and seeing Christmas trees lit up in the window. There is something kind of special and magical about this time of year and seeing all of those things. But if it's not feasible for you to do financially, don't do it. Don't
Right.
do it. Right. And, and it's okay to set different expectations. Maybe if in the past you've had a little bit more money, but maybe things look a little bit different this year, it's okay to set different expectations with your family, right? Having those tough conversations is usually actually gives everybody a little bit of relief, because I think everybody feels that pressure to spend, spend, spend. And a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this myself, getting caught up in the holiday giving spirit. Like, I don't spend money on myself, but I don't have a problem spending money on other people, especially my kids. And then you add the holidays into that, and it gets out of hand really
Well,
quickly
that's the point.
sometimes. But it,
If you don't keep it under control, it will
yeah,
get out of hand.
exactly. Yeah. So
I
it's
remember
about,
in our clan when we finally decided that we wouldn't all buy the nieces and nephews Christmas gifts anymore like we did when they were children. Now
hmm
that they're adults,
hmm
there was a bit of relief. Uh,
yeah.
but other than the nieces and nephews, they probably were not all that happy about it. But
Yeah. Yeah, but there's lots of ways to go about that. If your family really does enjoy the spirit of gift giving, maybe instead of buying something for everyone and stretching yourself thin, maybe you do a name drawing where you buy for one other person and you
right,
have a little bit better budget, because to get them something meaningful to them, because you're not trying to spend for 10 other people at the same time.
yeah, or make the gift something,
Mhm.
doing something nice for somebody,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. That if they don't have time to do something, give them the gift of
Mhm.
taking the time to do that for them.
Exactly, exactly. And that's, I mean, to kind of go back to Charlie Brown and that we talked about the beginning of the show, he kind of starts the show feeling depressed about the holidays. And a lot of that is because, and a lot of people feel that way because of a lot of the pressure, or because they maybe don't have that ideal scenario that they around Christmas time that is kind of portrayed in all of the holidays TV shows and the advertising, right? But, you know, at the end of it, though, Charlie Brown does realize that it's really about the love that you have for your friends and family. That's so important. And I think that's really what's important to remember this time of year, and I think one of the nice things, for me, especially about celebrating Christmas or the holidays, is you get to see your family, whether they're related family or your chosen family. It's an opportunity to kind of reconnect with friends and, just appreciate how fortunate you are to have people that you know and that you care about and who care about you back. That is, the kind of wealth that you can't buy that. And at the end of the day, it's just really good advice to stop in the middle of the relentless consumerism of the holiday season sometimes, and just take some time to just reflect and be appreciative of the people and the things that you do have in life.
So ultimately, as you've been speaking about this, especially your summary there at the end, I'm realizing that Charlie Brown: A Christmas Story has a lot of similarities to Charles Dickens'
Yeah.
tale, especially
Yeah.
the lessons learned. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great information. I don't know if I could go to the First Alliance website and find a lot out about Charlie Brown, but I'm sure there's a lot of information about the topics we've discussed. So tell us more.
Yes, I always encourage our listeners to visit our website, firstalliancecu.com. You can subscribe to our blog. We release new financial tips and advice there every week, including we do have a blog about this topic and other Christmas specials as well. You can go check out. You can, of course, listen to past episodes of this show at firstalliancecu.com/podcast or on krocnews.com. You can also subscribe to Good Money Moves on Apple, Google, and Spotify podcasts. And if you love our show, please leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. And as always, if you have a financial topic or a question that you would like covered on Good Money Moves, please send me an email at marketing@firstalliancecu.com. And of course, I strongly encourage you to reach out to our team at First Alliance Credit Union. They are here to help you start making good money moves today.
That is First Alliance Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA and an equal housing lender. Jenna, we'll talk to you next week. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks, Andy.
This has been Good Money Moves on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.